Hey everybody, now that we have been starting to deal with variables, our next thing is to evaluate variable expressions. So at the end of this video, you'll be able to evaluate an expression that contains variables given information about the variables. Alrighty, so first of all, we're just going to talk about what a variable expression is. So I'm going to fill that in if I can find my pen. Oh, down there we go. Oh, where did it go? I think I'm upside down. Just give me a second here. There we go. Now I've got, all right, a variable expression is an expression that may contain letters. It may also contain numbers. And it can also contain plus and minus signs, all right? So anything like that, an example might be 5x plus 2y. That would be a variable expression because it has some letters and it has some numbers and it has a plus sign. All right, so a variable, just in case you do not remember, a variable is just a letter that represents one or more numbers. All righty, so when we evaluate, so you'll remember in my previous slide, I said that we're going to evaluate variable expressions. Well, what does it mean to evaluate? It means to substitute a number for the letter and then find the answer. So the biggest thing is when I ask you to evaluate, I need you to find an answer. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into these. The examples say to evaluate each expression for the given value of variables. Okay, one note before we get started. The concept of this is to know where to plug the numbers in for the letters. So I'm not concentrating on order of operations too much right here, or do you know your multiplication of signed numbers or addition of signed numbers? I mostly want you to get the concept of where to plug numbers into. So we are going to use our calculators for this specific topic. So problem number one, you'll notice it says x equals and y equals. This will always be given to you. So let's say I would like the x to equal 3 and I would like the y to equal 2. And my variable expression is 4xy plus 9x, right? The first thing that I'd like you to do is we are going to rewrite this variable expression. If numbers and letters are right next to each other, please remember that means multiply. So that's how I'm going to start my problem. I'm going to put 4 times x times y plus 9 times x, just to remind myself that after I plug in the numbers, that's what I'm going to be doing. So now I'm going to rewrite this problem. Wherever I see a letter, I'm going to substitute it for the number. So I'm going to have 4 times, it says x, I know my x is 3. Then there's a times sign, it says y, I know my y is 2. And then plus 9 times, I see my x is 3. Okay, now from here, I did say we're not going to concentrate on order of operations at this point in time. So from here, I'm just going to say, let your calculator do the thinking for you. Good. So now we're just going to let our calculator, you're going to plug it into your calculator exactly how you see that. Obviously, instead of the dot, you'll just hit your time sign. And when you do that, you will get an answer of 51. Okay. All right. Problem number 2, we're going to let x equal 1 this time. We will let y be negative 2, and we will let z be 4. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do again, we've got the expression 5x minus xyz. If anything is sitting next to each other, I am going to go ahead and write it as a times, just so I don't forget when I get there. So this will be 5 times x minus x times y times z. Please notice I'm not even changing my minuses using LCO because we're going to let our calculator do all the work for us. So all I need to do from this point, wherever I see a letter, I just need to plug in a number instead. So I'm going to have 5 times my x is 1 minus, it says x, which is again 1, times my y, which is negative 2, times my z, which is 4. Okay, and then from here, again, we're going to let our calculator do the thinking for us. So you're just going to type exactly what you see right here, except for those time signs again. And when you do that, you are going to get 13. All right, so again, the only really stuff that you have to super think about is where do I put those letters? All right, problem 3. This time we do have some parentheses, so we'll change it a little bit, I guess. All right, we have a equals negative 3, and we have b equals 2. So first thing that I'm going to do right here, I'm going to rewrite it, but 3 and b are next to each other, so I'm going to write 3 times b plus 4. And that might seem like a silly step, but it really does save you from accidentally thinking it's like 30 something instead of 3 times something. So now I'm going to put my a in, which is -3, and then I've got parentheses. 3 times my b they told me was 2, plus 4. And then again from here, we don't need to worry about drawing an area model. We don't need to worry about, do I do parentheses first? We can just plug exactly what we see into the calculator. There are parentheses on your calculator as well. And when you do that, you are going to get an answer of -30. All right, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to let you try a couple here. So this time we will let a be 5, and we will let b be -3. So notice I see this time, I'm just going to write a squared plus b squared. There was nothing to do on this one. I guess the only thing that I might want to do, I'll show that in a minute. So just, especially if you get the wrong answer, then you want to do this. Okay, so a, I'm going to put a in. That's 5 to the second power. And then plus b is -3 to the second power. And one thing that I like to do when I put things to a power is put the number in parentheses. So I'm definitely going to do that on this one. And then we will let our calculator do the work for us. And when we do that, we are going to get 34. Now, very easy to forget to put parentheses, very easy to make mistakes when you have a negative power. So this is something that I kind of like to do instead maybe. When you see a to the second, we already learned yesterday, I believe, that a to the second was just a times a, and then b to the second really just means b times b. So now if you write it as 5 times 5 plus -3 times -3, then type it in your calculator, you're much less likely to make an error. So that again, you still get 34, but I'll leave that up to you. If you get the wrong answers when you're leaving it with a square, it might be a good idea just to write it twice. Okay, so number 5, I'm going to let you go ahead and try on your own, I think. All right, so we will let x equal 7, and we will let y equal 2. So what I would like you to do at this point in time is pause the video. I want you to try the problem on your own, to the best of your ability, and then unpause the video and see how you did. Alrighty, you're back because you either have an answer or you're stuck. The first thing that I'm going to do is rewrite this problem. I have x minus y to the second plus 3 times x. I am going to go ahead and change that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my variables in. So parenthesis, my x is 7 minus my y is 2 to the second power. And then plus 3 times x, and x is 7. All right, and then from here, we can just go ahead and use our calculator. So we'll just type in exactly what I see. And when we get an answer, it will be 46. So that's hopefully what you got. And then again, what I said with the squares, we could have written this as 7 minus 2 times 7 minus 2 plus 3 times 7 and put it in our calculator that way, and we still should get the same answer. Alrighty, and I'm going to do one more with you, I think, and then I'll do 2 more. I'll have you do 2 more without me. So we'll let x equals 4, and we'll let y equal 3. So again, I'm going to rewrite my problem. Since it says 4y, it means 4 times y plus y to the second minus 5 times x. And again, it might be a nice idea if you make that y times y, but I'll leave that up to you. Okay, now I'm going to put in my numbers. So 4 times my y is 3 plus my y is again 3. And again, when I square something, I do put it in parentheses. Minus 5 times my x is 4. And then I'll let my calculator do all that work for me. And I think I end up getting 1. So that will be it. And then again, right down here, we could have had 4 times 3 plus 3 times 3 minus 5 times 4. And that would save us for sure from getting a wrong answer. All right, I'm going to be letting you try 7 and 8. So I'm going to go ahead and put the numbers in for both 7 and 8. 7 is a equals 4, b equals -3, c equals 1, and then 8 is -9, b is 2. So you're going to go ahead and try both of them. So pause it to try both of them, and then come back, and I will be working out each one so you can see how you did. Alrighty, welcome back. Let's see how you did. I'm going to, first of all, for number 7, rewrite. So it's going to be 7 times a minus 2 times b plus 3 times c. Now I'm going to plug in what I know. 7 times my a is 4 minus 2 times my b is -3 plus 3 times my C is 1. And now I'll let my calculator do all that work for me. So I'll just type in exactly what I see. And we should get an answer of 37. And hopefully that is what you got as well. And then number 8, I am going to rewrite it 3 times A plus 7 plus 8 times B. Now I'm going to plug in what they told me. They told me my A was -9, so -9 plus 7 plus 8 times my B. My B is 2. And then from here, I can let my calculator do all the work for me. We should get an answer of 10, and hopefully that's what you got too. So hopefully now you are able to evaluate a variable expression.